Good morning everyone. Welcome again. Today we will start chapter 7, Human Memory. Today we will start Introduction of Memory. So all of us aware of the tricks that memory plays on us throughout our lives. Have you ever felt embarrassed because you could not remember the name or known person you are talking to? Or anxious or helpless because everything you memorized well the previous day before taking your examination has suddenly become unavailable? Since memory is central to almost all cognitive processes such as perception, thinking, problem solving, so psychologists have attempted to understand the manner in which any information is committed to memory. In this chapter, we will examine all these aspects of memory, understand various theories which explain the mechanisms of memory. So let's start. Here are some questions. How does information get into memory? How is information maintained in memory? How is information pulled back out of memory? So we will get all the answer of these questions in this chapter. Start with memory. What is memory? Memory is ability to encode, store and remember information and past experiences in the brain. So, memory refers to retaining and recalling information over a period of time depending upon the nature of cognitive task you are required to perform. It might be necessary to hold an information for a few seconds. For example, you use your memory to retain an unfamiliar telephone number till you have reached the telephone instrument to dial. Or for many years, you still remember the techniques of addition and subtraction, which you perhaps learned during your early schooling. So, memory is conceptualized as a process consisting of three independent, though interrelated stages. These stages are encoding, storing, and remembering. Encoding is the first stage, which refers to a process by which information is recorded and registered for first time so that it becomes usable by our memory system. Whenever an external stimulus impinges on our sensory organs, it generates neural impulses. These are received in different areas of our brain for further processing. In encoding, incoming information is received and some meaning is derived. It is then represented in a way so that it can be processed further. Second one is storage process of placing encoded information. Means it's a second stage of memory. Information which was encoded must also be stored so that it can be put to use later. Storage refers to the process through which information is retained and held over a period of time. Then remembering or retrieval, the process of retrieving what has been stored in short-term or long-term memory. So these are some stages, and in the third stage of memory, information can be used when one is able to recover it from his or her memory. And retrieval refer to bringing the stored information to his or her awareness so that it can be used for performing various cognitive tasks such as problem solving, decision making, all this. So in general terms, one can define memory as the use of past experiences to influence or affect human behavior. Memory, where memory comes from? Memory is not located on one particular part of brain, but instead there is a brain wide process in which different parts of the brain work in conjunction with one another, distributing. It's a distributing process. Now here is one example. When riding a bicycle, the whole process is reconstructed by the brain in different areas. The memory of how to operate the bike comes from one area. Memory of the street paths comes from another area. Memory of bike safety rules in another. And the nervous feeling when almost falling and being hit comes from another part of the brain. So this is the example. Here is again, you can see three stages, and next one is information processing approach and the stage model. We will discuss stage model of memory. While several different models of memory have been proposed, the stage model of memory is often used to explain the basic structure and function of memory, initially proposed in 1968 by Atkinson and Sifrin. This theory outlines the separate stages of memory: short-term sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. Here is information processing model. It's Initially, it was thought that memory is the capacity to store all information that we acquire through learning and experience. So it was seen as a vast storehouse where all information that we knew was kept so that we could retrieve and use it as and when needed. But with the advent of the computer, human memory came to be seen as a system that processes information in the same way as a computer does. So computer as a model for our memory. Both register, store and manipulate large amount of information, act on the basis of outcome of such manipulation. If you have worked on the computer, then you would know that it has a temporary memory, random access memory, RAM, and permanent memory, hard disk. Based on the program commands, the computer manipulates the content of its memory, display the output on the screen in the same way. Human beings also register information, store and manipulate stored information depending on the task that they need to perform. For example, when you are required to solve a mathematical problem, the memory related to the maths operations such as division or subtraction are carried out, activated and put to use. Receive the output, the means problem solution. This analogy led to the development of first model of memory, which was proposed by Atkinson, Shiffrin. It is also known as short or stage model. So here now you can see process of this model: encoding, storage and retrieval. Encoding means involves forming a memory code, involves maintaining encode information, and retrieval involves recovering information from memory stores. Here is stage model of memory: stimulus, sensory memory, short term memory, then it go to the long term memory. This is a stage model of Atkinson and Shiffrin. So today we have discussed about stage model. Next time we will move further. Thank you.